say why we believe that marijuana should be legalized, and they don't. With the whole war on drugs that the government is fighting, we are spending lots of money on fighting marijuana when it's not necessary. There are more hard drugs like cocaine and heroin and ecstasy and LSD, PCP, and all that crap. If marijuana were legalized and taxed, then the government would get $7.7 billion per year, and just saving on not having to fight marijuana in the war on drugs. And if they were to tax it like normal foods or normal products, they would get $2.4 billion annually. And if it were taxed like alcohol and tobacco, they get $6.2 billion annually in revenue. There are many economists that agree with this. Here is a large packet of names of economists, including 3 Nobel laureates that all agree and feel that marijuana should be legalized. The marijuana tax revenue will not just be going to the federal government, but also go to the state and local governments, which is much needed for them. And with that, the revenue, instead of going into the black market, would be able to be used by the government.
You get?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 minute.
Until 3:30. Oh man. Oh, it's still sleeping.
You ready?
Yeah, so
Whenever you're ready.
Cannabis, also known as marijuana, is what we're debating today, and whether or not it should be legalized. The herbal form of the drug consists of dried mature flowers and subtending leaves of female plants, and the major biologically active compound is delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, also referred to as THC. Now, some argue that marijuana is not as dangerous as like tobacco, but a Canadian government survey, or not survey, study found that cannabis smoke contained 20 times more ammonia, 5 times more hydrogen cyanide, and 5 times more nitrogen oxides than tobacco smoke. So, as you can see, it's pretty dangerous. But, anyways, THC's levels in marijuana has been raising over the past 20 years. In America, is risen from 3.5% to 8.5%, which means is increasing potency, and it has the potential to reach as high as 20%, increasing the effects of attention loss, short-term memory loss, loss of motor skills and dexterity, reduced reaction time, and lower abilities to perform skilled activities that can be hazardous to human life. So, some argue that the United States has wasted billions of dollars in the anti-drug effort. It's that's not true. All that money is actually being well spent. and it's actually really just a small portion of our overall budget. And if you really look at the big picture, a couple $1 billion, it's not that big of a deal in today's day and age. They also claim that or marijuana is no more dangerous than alcohol, which is not true because it is our #1 killer on the roadway is drunk driving. So if we legalize marijuana, you have the same effect with marijuana and driving high, which kill a lot of people since you have impaired judgment and stuff. Legalization efforts in Alaska prove that that teens started using marijuana at twice the rate of other use nationally. Also, the legalization in Holland caused heroin addiction levels to triple. So it's a gateway drug. You should be aware. United States. No, you want anything? Yeah. It's dangerous. Anybody has.
No.
Shot me, please.
No, that shot would have shot my head point blank. Could have covered the barrel.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Alright.
Wait. What do you say? Okay.
Oh.
Tell me when you're ready.
Alright. A 1997 UCLA study concluded that even prolonged and heavy marijuana smoking causes no serious lung damage. In fact, marijuana is actually something that doctors would actually prescribe to like help cure like lung cancer and like emphysema and like lung diseases like that. So I don't understand why they would do that if it's just gonna destroy your lungs. So there are greater like cancer and like death risks involved in like eating like undercooked meat or like too much salt or like bad dairy products. There are more risks in doing that than there is in actually like smoking marijuana. There are many myths about marijuana, like marijuana. One of the popular myths is it impairs learning ability. A 1996 U.S. government study claims that heavy marijuana use may impair learning ability, but the keywords are extremely heavy use, and that refers to people that use marijuana more than like 3 times daily, and they just smoke mass quantities of it, and this represents less than 1% of like all marijuana users. And our UCLA study, they did a test on 50 different people over a span of 10 years, and they watched their like learning abilities and their habits and stuff, and they learned that like it is no different than it was like 10 years previous, because it just